Welcome back. We are still talking about Chapter 11, Lesson 1, solving two-step equations. But now we're moving on to Example 3, a consumer math application. So what this says is Jamie rented a canoe while she was on vacation. She paid a flat rental fee of $85 plus $7.50 each day. Her total cost was $130. For how many days did she rent the canoe? So there's a couple things in this application problem that we need to understand. The first thing is we need to identify, well, what's the variable? What's the thing that we do not know? And a lot of times when you're doing this, the variable is revealed in the last sentence. For how many days did she not rent the canoe? Well, that's what they're asking, so that's obvious, the thing that they don't know. So we're going to go ahead and say we're going to define our variable. We're going to let x equal the number of days Jamie rented a canoe. Okay, so that's what x is going to equal. Perfect. Okay, so let's go back and kind of figure out, well, what are the important pieces of information in this story problem? So when I'm looking at this, I say, okay, Jamie rented a canoe while she was on vacation. Nice. She paid a flat rental fee of $85. Well, I think that that's important. $85, a flat rental fee. What that means is that's just something that you pay. You pay $85. You want to rent the canoe, you pay $85. Okay, so that's the flat rental fee. Plus, well, that's addition, right? $7.50 each day. So this is a different piece of information that's important. So plus $7.50, and it's nice they say plus because you know it's going to be plus, right? So you have $85 plus $7.50 each day. Well, what do we have for each day? Well, each day, that is our x. So basically, so far we have 85 plus $7.50 each day. And whenever you see that $7.50 each day, it's going to be $7.50 times x. Okay, so that's what her cost was. $85 to rent the canoe plus $7.50 per day. And then it says her total cost. So everything was $130. So $130 was her total cost. So these are the individual costs. Okay, she has the $85 rental fee plus the $7.50 per day. And all of this ended up being $130. So that means it's equal to $130. And there we have our equation right there. So when you're doing these types of story problems, I'm going to stretch you, and we are going to define the variable, and we're going to start with writing an equation. We're not just going to start just writing numbers down and figuring it out. I know that you could probably do that, but we're trying to develop higher level algebra skills here and just being able to read the words and be able to convert those into a mathematical language and using equations. So now we're just going to solve this equation. We're going to try to get x by itself. Okay, we know this $7.50 x, $7.50 times x. That's what we're going to keep until the end. So we have to get rid of this 85. So how is 85 related to x? Well, it's related through addition. And so we do the inverse operation, which would be subtraction. We're going to subtract 85 to both sides. 85. Okay, that's going to cancel out, become 0. We have $7.50 equals 130 minus 85. I'm going to come do that over here. Okay, I have to borrow 10 to, the 0 is not big enough, so that's going to be 2. 10 take away 5 is 5. The 2 is not big enough, so I need to borrow another 10. Here, 12 take away 8 is 4. So that means that 130 minus 85 is 45. Okay, I'm still trying to get x by itself. So I have 750 times x, and so the inverse operation of multiplication would be division. I'm going to divide by 750 to both sides. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here and do this division problem. I have 45 divided by 750. And remember, whenever we're dividing, we can't divide by a decimal, so I am going to get rid of the decimal and just turn this into move it over twice. So here I'm going to move it over twice. So what I'm really figuring out is put zeros there. So 4,500. How many times 750 goes into 4,500? And so does 750 go into 4? No. Does 750 go into 45? No. Does 750 go into 450? No. So how many times does 750 go into 4,500? Well, I know that 7 goes into 42 6 times. I'm gonna try 6. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna go 750 times 6 and just see what that is. So 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. Write the 0, carry the 3. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 would be 45, and boom, there we have it. So it goes in exactly 6 times. We know 6 times 750 is 4,500, and there's no remainder. So 750 divided by 750, that cancels, becomes 1. 1 times x is x. And 45 divided by $7.50 is 6. So that means that Jamie rented the canoe for 6 days. Okay? Right there. Perfect. So when you do your problem, which you're about to do, I want you to read through the story problem, figure out the key information, figure out what you don't know, define your variable. Then I want you to write equation, solve it, and then write your answer in the form of a sentence. So yes, here we go. It is time for you to check it out with example 3. So we have Jack's father rented a car while they were on vacation. He paid a rental fee of $20 per day. He paid $25 for mileage, and his total bill for renting the car was $165. For how many days did he rent the car? Okay, so go ahead, define your variable, write an equation, and solve it. Where's our friend the pause dragon? Oh, here he is, reminding you to pause, work the problem out. When you get done, press play, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out what we don't know. So a lot of times what we don't know is in the sentence. So for how many days did he rent the car? It's at the end of the paragraph. So we're going to say let x equal how many days, whoops, just days, Jack's father rented a car. Okay. Now let's go ahead and pick out the key information. What do we have? Jack's father rented a car while they were on vacation. He paid a rental fee of $20 per day. Per day. So $20, so that was the rental fee per day. Whenever you see this per day bit, it kind of means multiplication, right? So per is the multiplication. So it's going to be $20 per day. Well, what do we have for days? Well, how many days? That's the thing we don't know. That's our x. So this per is going to be multiplication. So it's going to be 20 times x. That's $20 per day. That's what that means. So 20x. So that's what I mean. He paid a rental fee of $20 per day. $20 per is kind of like the multiplication day x. Then he paid $25 for mileage. $25 for mileage. And his total bill for renting the car was $165. So sometimes what you have is you have these types of problems where you'll have kind of like a total, right? And they'll give you a total cost. And the total cost is equal to all of the parts. All the parts of the cost, they all add up to equal the total cost. So what I see is I see that, okay, so what are the parts here? This rental fee, $20 per day, so 20x, that's a part. Also, paying for mileage, that's another part. So we have 20x, and then we have $25 for mileage. So that's going to add to this $20 per day. So 20x plus $25 for mileage. Those are what make up the total cost, which is, this should all equal 165. So the 165, the total cost is made up of the $20 per day, which is here, plus the $25 for mileage. And then there you have it. You have your two-step equation. So we're just going to figure out what x equals. And if you remember, we have to keep this right here, 20x together until the end. So that means we're getting rid of this 25 first. So we're going to subtract 25 to both sides. And when we do that, we have 0, 6 minus 2 is 4, carry down the 1. Okay, and then we just have 20x. And now we're getting x by itself, and we have 20x, which means 20 times x, so we have to do the inverse operation of multiplication, which would be division. So we're going to divide both sides by 20. Okay, 20 divided by 20 is 1. 1 times x is x. And then I can just really reduce this. I know that 10 goes into 140 and 10 goes into 20. 10 goes into 140 14 times. And 10 goes into 20 2 times. And they can reduce further. They're both even, so that means 2 goes into both of these numbers. 2 goes into 14 7 times, and 2 goes into 2 1 time, so we really have 7 over 1, or just 7. So x, it's equals 7 days. So that means that Jack's father rented a car for 7 days. So if you got that right, great job. Okay, perfect. We will see you next time.